the reason why I mentioned that you see her all through this, and that's the first time you ever hear anything negative, if that is negative. I mean, when she's explaining what actually happened. What can you tell us about her? Do you know her?
She was, well, I was at the guest at the wedding, and I've obviously been, she would drive me to the airport on my visits to Kansas City. She loved Thomas.
We're going to show, the last clip is, well, you know what it's going to be. I haven't told you what it's going to be, but it's going to put the capper on all this.
Well, on the, you mean on this domestic
yes,
situation?
on the domestic situation.
You know, I just, she thought she could make this go. Thomas thought he could as well. And,
well,
you know,
let's watch that, and then we can wrap it up. Here's the
Here it is.
Well, I'm in my new apartment, my one-room studio, small apartment. What he told me was that he wanted to end it before we started hating each other.
We got to the point where we would start talking, and slowly the conversation would turn into a bicker. And it just, we tried going to therapy together. That didn't really work out that great.
We fought over everything. I don't know, me going out with friends. I mean, I was out of the house a lot more than he. I had a job and would go out with friends after work sometimes.
One of the big hurdles that kept me from asking for the separation sooner was because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to function as well on my own. I'm actually getting food for myself. Oh, my meatloaf's still in there. I'm not cooking yet. I'm still a nuclear chef. You want to film my fridge? That's what do we want, MTV Cribs now? I don't really understand why they give you an award for getting shot, but they do, and that's what that is. My wife liked to have these kind of things up on display. Like this machine autographed certificate of appreciation from our president. I already know I got shot. I have an everyday reminder of it. I don't need to come out here to my living room and see a flag and a Purple Heart to tell me what situation I'm in.
Bam, bam. Here's what you get on M16 and a Kevlar vest. You might come home with one less leg, but this thing will surely keep a bullet at your chest. So come on, sign up, come on. This one's nothing like Vietnam, except for the bullets, except for the bombs, except for the youth that
ready and marker and act.
I was paralyzed in Iraq, and I came home to find Jim Talent opposes the stem cell research that could help me walk again.
I'm Claire McCaskill, and I approve this message.
Mr. Torricelli. Aye. Mr. Voinovich. Aye. Mr. Warner. Aye.
The ayes are 77. The nays are 23. The joint resolution is passed.
This is, pardon me.
Go ahead,
Brian. This is the point in the film where you hear Robert Byrd, as they carry Thomas up the steps of the Capitol, you hear Robert Byrd say, "This will be a blotch on the Congress and the executive forever, to cast a political vote to send our young men and women to war and to come home either dead or seriously wounded." Wow, he just comes right at it. I have never seen an act of moral courage like we see, not only from Robert Byrd, but from the 22 senators who supported him, including Lincoln Chafee, the only Republican to vote no, and he was not reelected to the Senate.
5 days that Tomas Young spent in Iraq before he was What is he doing now? How does he make money? How does he live?
Thomas, first of all, speaks. He's helping us. Obviously, he came to the festivals.
Did you pay him to do this?
No, we paid for him. We paid his expenses. He was in Toronto, where, by the way, this has been very well received by all of the festivals where we have appeared. And remember, we're on the edge now of finding out whether we can make this a commercial venture, and we think we can. We think there's a lot of wonderful Iraq docs out there, and we're not saying we're better, but we are different. And we want to call attention to the fact that we're in landmark theaters in Washington first, then New York, Boston. April and May are body of war months for us, so we're asking people to look for it in a theater near you.
Are they divorced now?
They are.
Did either one of them remarry?
Not to my knowledge, no. No, I don't. No, they haven't.
And Bree lives where?
In Kansas City.
At the end of all this, how do you call it a success? What has to happen?
You know, when people, at the end of our movie, people sit there and they've told us this, and it's we're very pleased to hear this. They're a little wobbly, and they look at those credits going and they say, my God, I've got to do something. I think Thomas wants to be a player in the anti-war movement, and so do I. We want this film to be a player. We want it to put wind to the back of all those people who've been out there all these many, many months alone. And we're saying, you know, we have a website, bodyofwar.com, which gives you 12 things you can do.
What have your friends in the media said to you about this? Is any of the big shows going to talk to you about this?
Bill Moyers will feature us. And I'm hopeful of getting on the shout shows. I mean, we need every platform we can because we don't have a corporate budget. I mean, I can't afford full-page ads in every city, you know, where this. So Thomas and I have to sort of tap dance and call people's attention to the fact that we're out there. So people may be seeing more of me than they want to over the next several weeks.
Body of War, thank you, Phil Donahue.
Thank you, Brian Lamb.
For a copy on DVD or VHS tape, call 1-877-662-7726. For free transcripts or to give us your comments about this program, visit us at qna.org. Q&A programs are also available as C-SPAN podcasts.
Mr. Domenici. Aye. Mr. Dorgan. Aye. Mr. Edwards. Aye.
In the name of the people of this country, in the name of the young men and women whose lives may be put on the line.
Mr. Ensign. Aye. Mr. Enzi. Aye.
By the decision that this Senate will make is too weighty, is too far-reaching, and it's only fair to the people of America who are going to be asked to give, in some instances, everything that they've got, everything they have, if a war ensues. And I tell you, my friends, I don't want that on my conscience. Not I.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I plead with the American people, let your voice be heard.
Mr. Rockefeller. Aye. Mr. Santorum. Aye.
You need to be heard. You have a right to be heard. You have questions that should be asked and answered.
Mr. Schumer. Aye. Mr. Sessions. Aye.
Let the leadership of this Congress know that you don't want this resolution rammed through this Congress before the election. The life of your son may depend upon it. The life of your daughter may depend upon it. Get out there and let this leadership know.
Mr. Shelby. Aye. Mr. Smith of New Hampshire. Aye. Mr. Smith of Oregon. Aye. Ms. Snow. Aye. Mr. Specter. Aye.
Let the hills and the mountains and the valleys reverberate with the sound of your voices. It's your country. Stand for it now. People out there, speak out.